Hey guys, it's Cherrylicious, and I'm here to talk to you about an interesting My Little Pony Friendship is Magic special called Rainbow Road Trip. This came out in 2019. It was an hour long, and it was made by a different studio who makes the TV show. And I think most people have forgotten about it. I remember this coming out. I remember this being a thing that existed. But outside of that, I never watched it. And I sort of just forgot about it after a while. So when I came across it, I decided to give it a watch, and now here I am talking about it. So this special was interesting to me, not just because people completely forgot it existed, but because it uses this weird hybrid style between like the TV show Friendship is Magic and the Friendship is Magic movie, My Little Pony the movie, based on the G4 series and characters. And it was really weird to watch it because it was clear that they were trying to go for the movie like aesthetic, but they mixed it with some of the TV show aesthetic because I guess they didn't have the budget to completely replicate the movie's visuals and detail. So it was super weird to be watching that the whole time. And no spoilers yet. I will do a plot synopsis in a little bit, but the movie, for the majority of the runtime, most of the cast and setting is grayscale, and I thought that was super weird. We've seen like color and rainbows used as a motif in My Little Pony before, where things will get more color if it's like livelier or happier or however you want to phrase it. But the majority of the entire movie takes place in one setting and with one very monotone color scheme, and that has its own complications that come with it. So, before I get into how I felt about the special and a sort of review segment, I'm gonna go over the actual plot of the special. We're gonna go over what actually happened, and then I can explain how I felt about it. Alright, ladies and gents, it's plot synopsis time. So, being that the special is called Rainbow Road Trip, guess where they're gonna be taking a road trip to? That's right, Rainbow Dash gets this mysterious letter saying that she's a guest of honor to what is called the Rainbow Festival, right? And the Rainbow Festival is supposed to be this huge event in this town called Hope Hollow. Rainbow Dash supposedly has this fan club in Hope Hollow that are very excited to see her at the Rainbow Festival. So she's like, oh, we gotta go immediately. And then her other 5 friends are like, yeah, let's do that. Let's go. It's a me, Rainbow Dash. So they get in like this hot air balloon. Spike gets dumped, as per usual. Spike doesn't get to go because he never gets to go. He is the runt of the family in more ways than one. So Twilight Sparkle, Rainbow Dash, and the gang are in this hot air balloon. They're heading to Hope Hollow. And they hit a billboard. They hit a freaking billboard that's shaped like this giant freaking rainbow. Rainbow billboard falls over. Balloon is falling very, very quickly to the ground. Everyone might die, but they don't die. Thankfully, they don't die. And then they have to find their way to the Rainbow Festival. Now, this is where I was thinking to myself, oh no, are they ever gonna get to the Rainbow Festival? This is where I started to think, like, uh-oh, we might not actually be getting to this festival. Which may or may not be a theme later on. So they actually find this town. They find this town after a little while, and they have a hotel there. And the first thing you're gonna notice about this town is it's very gray. It's incredibly, like, monochrome and, like, dull. Like, there's a little saturation here and there, but not much. So the main 6 are really the only things in this town that are in color. Even the ponies that are residents of Hope Hollow are not in color, which is ironic, because they're supposed to be here for the Rainbow Festival, if you remember. So they get up to this hotel. There's this nice lady who leads them up the hotel. She's the hotel manager and the librarian, and essentially wears multiple jobs. There's only one room in this hotel, by the way, which is strange, because it's a hotel. Or at least it's supposed to be this luxury hotel, but it really doesn't look like one. The beds are messed up. Everything has spider webs and like dust is all over the place. It's very clear that no one has been sleeping in this hotel room for a long time. But the main six sleep there anyway. I remember writing this down in my notes as I was watching the special. Applejack, the second Applejack is alone. Like the librarian hotel pony is not there, and Applejack and her friends are alone in this hotel room. Applejack goes, "Is it just me, or did she look a little gray?" And I remember sitting there, you know, watching this special, like, Applejack, everything in this town is gray. Do you have eyes? Could you see things? Rarity also realizes it. It's pretty clear that something's up. So they wake up, bad night of sleep, of course, but they wake up nonetheless, and everyone is super cranky. And everyone's avoiding the main six. Everyone is, really not that happy to be part of this, festival. This is where I started to be reminded of Starlight Glimmer's premiere episode, because it's very similar to that, at least so far. And then they meet the mayor of Hope Hollow. His name is Sunny Skies, which is a very ironic name. And he takes them on this tour of the town. All of the, the festival... All of the festival events that Sunny Skies shows the main six are super lame. There's this karaoke building that's falling apart. There's this Rainbow Trout, who is just a dude in a costume who plays harmonica. There is this bush with butterfly stickers on it, like post-it notes, instead of real butterflies. And then there's the quote-unquote Rainbow Dash fan club, which might actually be the only real thing in the festival, because it's only two ponies, brother and sister, but they are real fans of Rainbow Dash. You know, they're not like a fake fan club sort of thing. And they try flying throughout the special, you know, just to impress Rainbow Dash. They're super into impressing Rainbow Dash, because I guess Rainbow Dash just has that effect on children, especially Scootaloo. So then, you know, everyone's super suspicious of this, obviously, and Twilight and everyone else, you know, they're like, "Okay, Mr. Sunny Skies, what's going on here? What's up? Why is this so terrible?" They don't say that outright, but they basically ask about it. And Sunny Skies then starts a song. I didn't know this was a musical. We're like 15-20 minutes in at this point, I think. I'm pretty sure this musical only has 3 songs, actually. I didn't note it down, but there's one very short song in the beginning. Then there's this song that sort of explains, like, oh, here's what actually happened to the Rainbow Festival. The music's good, by the way, but there isn't a lot of it. But I'll get into that in the review portion. This is just me trying to explain the plot in a very nonsensical and tangential manner. Okay, so this song is about the Rainbow Festival and how it came to be and how it came to not be. There's this town called Hope Hollow, and Sunny Skies had a grandfather who invented something called the Rainbow Generator. And the Rainbow Generator is just basically, it's how it sounds. It's this machine that puts rainbows in the sky. So they create this sort of festival around it. Hope Hollow used to be known as the town called the End of the Rainbow. But that is an ironic name because the Rainbow Festival ends after, you know, the Rainbow Festival gets tired, gets sort of boring. People, like, it's communicated that the Rainbow Festival only works because all the neighbors care about each other and everyone in the town is super happy. But at some point that starts, like, taking a turn for the worse. People stop talking to each other. People stop having fun. And the Rainbow Festival gets worse and worse and worse and worse until Sunny Skies is like, okay, screw it. I'm gonna improve the Rainbow Generator because clearly this town needs a boost of energy. So he tries his best. He tries his best to improve the Rainbow Generator. I don't know if it necessarily works. In fact, it doesn't work. And the Rainbow Generator breaks. So that's sort of the last straw for the town. And the town is like, you know what? We're not having the Rainbow Festival anymore. No more Rainbow Festival. Everyone shuts up in their houses. Town loses all color. You've seen the situation a million times, of course. So, you know how the main six are. Twilight and her friends agree to take on the responsibility and help out the town and bring color back to the town of Hope Hollow. So this starts probably the main portion of the special. Even though we're a decent ways in at this point, this starts the main portion of the special. where all of the main 6 split up, except for Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie, I believe, who stick together. Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie move on to a family known as the Hoofingtons, who have a pie, and then Pinkie Pie's like, oh, can I taste the pie? And they're like, sure. And the pie is absolutely terrible. Which, again, reminds me of the Starlight Glimmer premiere episode, because there were some very terrible muffins in that one. Anyway, this pie is terrible, because they can't tell ripe fruit from unripe fruit, and the apricots they used are awful, because they can't tell, because they can't see colors. Which is sort of awkward. So next door, there's this guy named Mr. Moody Root, and Mr. Moody Root is a gardener of sorts, and he has this huge apricot tree with incredible apricots. And Pinkie Pie is like, oh, why don't you just use his apricots? And the Hoofingtons are like, oh, we can't use his. We haven't talked to him in forever. He stays in his house all the time, as do we. So Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie, work it so that they actually start talking to each other. Mr. Moody Root agrees to give Hoofingtons the apricot if he can taste the pie, which they also agree to. And that's how that plotline works out. All of the main 6 go on these sort of plot lines where they talk to and essentially fix the ponies that they're supposed to be counterparted to. Applejack works with a repair pony named Torque Wrench to fix the billboard and eventually fix the rainbow generator, I believe. Rainbow Dash meets with her Rainbow Dash fan club and teaches them how to put on a flying show. Rarity collaborates with another fashion designer named Kerfuffle, who is probably my favorite of the new characters, I gotta be real. Kerfuffle was awesome. And Twilight works with the librarian pony, whose name is Petunia Petals. And they're trying to find a way to, I guess, bring magic back to the town, right? Because Twilight's a magician expert. Twilight eventually comes to the conclusion that the rainbow generator broke, so they have to fix it. So they get Torque Wrench to fix it. But it still doesn't work. Like, the rainbow generator works, and it puts the rainbows in the sky, but no one cares. So, and the town is total grayscale. So Twilight gets in her funk, as she does, and she's like, oh, I tried, and I failed, and I'm a failure, and I tried, and I barely tried, and I failed so hard. You know, how Twilight gets after she fails a task. She doesn't know how to get back up. But Applejack is like, you gotta listen, Twilight. We've been bringing the color back this whole time. Because there have been these events happening, like, off-screen where, like, a single flower will regain color, or a single apricot will regain color. And Applejack comes to the conclusion that the color had nothing to do with the rainbow generator. So Sunny Sky is the mayor of the town, who has been blaming himself for years because he broke the rainbow generator, and thinks it's his fault that the town is so miserable. Is lifted of almost all guilt because it was not his fault that the town became miserable. Because the town became miserable, like, not because of the rainbow generator. They come to this conclusion by looking at pictures, and the pictures were in the wrong order. This was a weird part, at least for me. Okay, so now the task is to make the ponies feel joy again and start talking to each other again. And that's how we bring color back to the town of Hope Hollow. Festival begins again. And we're doing the festival, this time, with all of the ponies that we've come across beforehand. Kerfuffle starts selling her own fashion accessories, which Rarity encouraged her to do. Rainbow Dash is leading her fan club in a flying show in front of a crowd. And then Sunny has this whole freaking speech thing where he goes on about, oh, we just gotta talk to each other and be friends. You know, it's a typical mayor speech of sorts. And then, Sunny, because I forgot to mention it, I apologize, but there has been this romance arc that has been touched upon a few times throughout the runtime of the special, with Petunia Petals, the librarian/hotel manager, and Sunny Skies, who's the mayor. Because Petunia is basically the only pony who is still happy, and clearly has a crush on Sunny Skies, and Sunny Skies clearly has a crush on Petunia Petals, And then, in front of the whole freaking town, Sunny proposes. And Petunia says yes. And I was laughing my head off at this scene, man. I will comment on it later in my review segment, so stay tuned for that. And that's actually basically, as far as I remember, that's basically the end of the special. They get invited to a rainbow festival, they crash at a billboard, they stay in a crappy hotel, the town is monochrome, they bring color back to the town by making them friends again, rainbow generator. The end. Huzzah! Let's move on to the review portion. Alright, now let's review this sucker. The biggest, I guess, problem or issue that immediately jumps out is the fact that 80%, if not 90% of the special takes place in a monochrome setting. And initially, I actually thought this was pretty cool when they first arrived there and were exploring the town, but man, does it wear on the eyes after a while. It just gets so... I don't know, my eyes don't like it. Because the main 6 are still in color. It's not as if this entire presentation is monochrome. Which is really strange to me. Because when you get these main 6 ponies who are all, you know, in their vibrant children's animation type colors, and the rest of the town is in monochrome, it's hard to see details in the town because everything is so desaturated. It's immediately draws your attention to a main 6 pony in a scene. Whenever they are in the scene, it pretty much breaks any form of color composition you could have in any camera angle, in any shot, in any scene. It's gonna break it pretty much. Because there is no color to be had, except for these incredibly bright spots of color that are our main characters. And that's such a strange decision in my opinion. It didn't ruin the special by any means, I will say that much. It did not ruin it, I still enjoyed the special. It was just such a weird choice. Because there was basically no color composition in any scene. Just based on what they chose for the setting and the side characters and the plot. On top of that, and this is just coming from someone who has seen the G4 movie multiple times and has seen dozens of episodes of the TV show. The art style, like, not even the colors, just how everything is drawn, was also strange to me. Because it is a hybrid, as far as I could tell, of the G4 movie and the TV show. The characters look like they're from the movie. The backgrounds and set detail look like they're from the TV show. And I will admit that this could just be because of the monochromatic style, or the fact that this was a TV special and not a full theatrical production. But they clearly tried to emulate the movie style, but didn't have the budget to emulate the movie style. Because this is just a TV special after all, this isn't like a sequel film. It does feel like low budget at places because they spend almost the entire hour of runtime in one town. If you remember the My Little Pony movie, I don't think it's that long, but they go to so many different places that all look distinctly different. I have my own problems with that movie, but if you want to hear about those, watch my video on the G4 movie versus the G5 movie. That came out, you should watch it. Regardless, this is just a really weird visual style. My biggest problem with the movie is probably the visuals, I will be honest. Another issue I had was the similarity to TV show episodes. This honestly felt like it could have been condensed into one of those season premiere or season ending type of episodes. You know what I mean? When they do the 2-part episodes and they squeeze a larger plot with more ramifications in it. Except this one is an hour long and it's a self-contained special. And on some hands that helps it, because I really enjoyed when they got to spend more time with the side characters and really make us know those side characters. That was a really cool part of the special where they just go off in their separate directions and they have these scenes that are honestly pretty fun with these side characters. And I liked the fact that they got to spend more time on it. It is better that they spent an hour on it than 44 minutes or however long a 2-part episode would have been. So I'm really glad they decided to go the special route with this plot. This is also a musical, la-di-da, surprise. I really liked the music, actually. It is really quality music. The problem is there isn't a ton of it, and it comes in so sparingly throughout the runtime that I was like, every time a song came on, I thought to myself, oh yeah, this is a musical, I forgot. And the songs themselves, while they are really good numbers, don't actually do a lot for the plot. There's a beginning song and an ending song, and those contribute basically nothing. And then there's Living in Color. Oh wait, no, Living in Color is the ending song. This is End of the Rainbow that I'm talking about, which is right in the middle of the runtime, pretty much. Not right in the middle, but like at the 20-minute mark, if I remember. And it does contribute to the plot, because it plays as a sort of exposition flashback of how the Rainbow Festival came to be and how it fell apart. And I think that is a really good use of time, so they don't have to spend a few laborious minutes trying to explain with words alone how this came to be. That would have been really boring to sit through, I will be honest. But since they turned it into a song, it made it a little better, and I'm glad they explained the backstory after the fact. I'm glad they explained the backstory after we had already met Sunny Skies and Petunia Petals, after we had already seen the town, and after we had already seen what's up. They leave us with a sense of they're teaching us how it is now, but the viewer is wondering, like, why is it like this? You know, what's really going on here? And then they explain it to us through a song. I thought that was a really smart decision. Here's something I touched upon at least a little bit in the plot synopsis section. This is the romance arc between the mayor, Sunny Skies, and the librarian hotel pony, Petunia Petals. And this was an interesting one for me, because when this first came up, it's very clearly like communicated that the proposal at the end does not come out of nowhere, thankfully. But I actually had negative feelings towards this romance arc when I was first watching it, throughout at least the first 2/3. I was curious where it was going to go, because it could have gone a couple different places. I couldn't imagine it like working out badly, because it was clear that they both liked each other, but I found myself not enjoying the parts where they just sort of like awkwardly danced around each other's dialogue and like avoided each other and like tried not to make eye contact. That I hate stuff like that in shows and movies. I hate stuff that's like, oh, it's awkward romance dialogue, but it's awkward without a purpose. You've already established that these two like each other, so there's no point in having them awkwardly talk to each other without that advancing. Without that plotline advancing, there's no reason to just have a really awkward scene and then that advances nothing. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have that sort of awkward dialogue between people who are romantically interested in each other, then you have to have that with a reason. You can't just have that because it's not funny for the most part, unless you write it to be funny, which they kind of didn't, but you have to have that with a purpose, and for the most part it didn't have a purpose. So for the first 2/3 of the runtime, I'm sitting there like, oh, this isn't going anywhere, I'm not enjoying this. Near the end it does pick up though. Near the end of the special it does start picking up, because Sunny Skies is spending a lot of time by himself writing his speech, and it's assumed that this is the speech that he gives as the mayor of the town before he starts the rainbow generator for the last time. But it actually isn't that speech, and he never says straight up it isn't that speech, but it's assumed by the viewer and by the other characters that, okay, he's writing his mayor's speech for the festival. But after the festival goes on, Petunia rolls up and she's like, oh wow, that was a great speech you wrote. And then he's like, I didn't actually read the speech I wrote. And she's like, what? But you spent so much time writing it. I I actually wrote a speech for you. And then he pulls out this paper, and then it's honestly kind of charming and adorable because he reads off the paper and it's clear he's nervous. The voice actor for Sunny Skies and Petunia Petals, they did a very good job at communicating this. I thought that was very well established, especially because they never say it outright that they have a crush on each other. It's just assumed through their dialogue and through their interactions. So I thought that was at least well done. But the proposal itself was pretty charming. I thought that was fun. My only problem is that it was a public proposal, and you should never publicly propose. Dear God, you imagine the situation you put a person in. Overall, I actually really liked the special. I thought it was pretty good. I know I just spent a lot of time ragging on its issues, but the reality, at least of my opinion, is that I only have a few issues, but those few issues are larger issues. There aren't a ton of places where I'm like, oh, that's annoying. It isn't a bunch of little things that build up to make this like a 7 out of 10. The sad part is that it's a few larger things that are present throughout the entire runtime. It's the visuals, it's the romantic subplot for the most part. But outside of those, I mean, it is really enjoyable. If you can look past the weird visuals and some awkward dialogue here and there, it's pretty fun. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It is not necessarily something that will blow your mind. The plot is similar to any other two-part, like, season premiere, season finale type My Little Pony episode. Rainbow Road Trip does not go anywhere that the regular TV show Friendship is Magic would not have gone. You know what I mean? It feels pretty standard for a special. But even though the scope and the plot structure are very similar to what the show is known for, I still think it not knocks it out of the park. I shouldn't say knocks it out of the park, but it is still pretty good. If you haven't seen it before, if you are like me and you also forgot about it, I would honestly recommend this special. It is a pretty decent watch, especially for me, because I haven't watched Friendship is Magic in a long while, or at least any new episodes of it, because the show ended, right? And it was nice to see something in the Friendship is Magic universe that I hadn't seen before. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty fun seeing a new adventure with these essentially old characters and a lot of new characters. I liked a lot of the new characters. Petunia, Sunny Skies, Troutfish Man with harmonica. They're all fun, and they all contribute to the image of Hope Hollow and the quality of the special as a whole. So yeah, go watch it if you haven't already. I would recommend it. Thank you for watching this video. If you want, I've done a couple other retrospectives on this channel. Some from recently, some from a long time ago. I've also done a few ranking videos of Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. So if you're a fan of this franchise and you're a fan of Friendship is Magic, please check those out. Thanks again for watching. See ya!